Horses on the battlefield are a thing of the past, but they remain critically important to ceremonial operations for the King's Guard. Hoping one day to ride on state events, the cavalry riding school trainees are on the final week of their course. They now face a crucial assessment with Commanding Officer Matthew Woodward, known as the Khaki Pass-Off. They're required to pass a detailed inspection of kit and riding skills to earn the regiment's coveted khaki peaked cap. Trooper Sam Taylor has previously tasted failure on the course due to injury.
I'm a lot more confident jumping now, which is a really good thing. And I've now actually got to the point where I'm actually really enjoying it now. I'm nervous, but it's like nerves are natural. Like you can't help the nerves.
27-year-old Charlie Carr Smith remains the only officer left on the course.
Being the only officer could have been a really strange dynamic, but I think I was confident in that I would get on with people who are on course with me. They always called me sir, even when we went out for drinks. And that's just the way it is.
If he passes, in a few weeks' time, he'll be giving orders to the friends he's made at the riding school. With only 10 minutes to go, Charlie's trying on his new top-of-the-range riding boots for the first time.
They cost me £2,000, or £1,999. And then the boot trees, these wooden things that go inside them, cost further £800. Yeah, love it. They're tight, aren't they? They said they need to be really tight to the skin. I could get them on, but then the top of the sock's going to go down.
Now, the first time I put them on, they didn't fit. Unfortunately, I had decided to do this 10 minutes before the commanding officer was going to inspect them.
That's just where my back was.
If you're going to spend quite a lot of money on the boots, make sure they do fit properly.
Under the watchful gaze of Colonel Matthew Woodward, the inspection begins. As an officer, Charlie gets to go first.
It's quite comfortable. Yeah.
Sam's relationship with his horse has been emotional.
Service is known to be a quite difficult horse when it comes to jumping.
He's been thrown off countless times, but coming off today means failing the course.
Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Drive forward. Up. Go on, that's it. Hand forward, kick, drive out. Hand wide and up. Go.
He will try everything in his power to get you off.
You need more. Pace, okay? More motion, energy. Good. Head up. Ready? Good. Right. Now drive. Left, left, left. Good man. See back, drive. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. The water. It's not on the best. It's not on the best. It was almost a feedback.
The riding assessment is complete. Charlie and Sam have both successfully passed and earned their khaki peaked cap.
It's a really tough course we've gone through. It's not easy, even learning to jump for the first time. The challenge is, how hard it is when you fall off and get back up again. Somebody goes to real courage to get back on and get round and have another crack. So a really, really great effort all round.
When I found out that I passed out of khaki, it was a huge relief on me. It was a very, very good day indeed.
Graduating from the course means trainees will form the King's Bodyguard at national events like this in Scotland. Traditionally, the Scots honour a new monarch with a series of events steeped in symbolism, known unofficially as the Second Coronation.
We're going because we are the King's Bodyguard, and it is our duty to go with him to be part of that procession and part of his escort.
As the Sovereign's protector, the King's Guard has transported nearly 200 soldiers over 100 horses, and tons of kit to make this ceremony fit for a king. But it's the end of the road for King's trumpeter, Andy Jackson.
I'm really looking forward to this. This is my last parade before I move on to the armour side of the regiment, so we'll be a bit sentimental about it.
This last 6 months, they've been a really special time. To be part of Duke of Edinburgh's funeral and Late Majesty's funeral, and then the coronation, I'm extremely proud to be part of this era in British history, that Edinburgh will top it off for me, to have one final parade with the King on my white horse and my gold coat. I might venture to say I'll tear up at the end of it.
Andy and his fellow 90 troopers parade through the streets of Edinburgh, joining the royal procession and Scottish military bands at the Palace of Holyrood House.
Riding up the Royal Mile, it does sort of hit me that once I get off my horse, that's me not doing another one for maybe never. We form in position ready, waiting for the King. It was a good time to reflect on the last 2 years of my time in the cavalry.
King Charles is presented with the Honours of Scotland during a dedication service at St Giles's Cathedral. The King's crown, sceptre and sword are Britain's oldest crown jewels and are worn formally by all Scottish monarchs.
I did feel one or two emotions, a mix of happiness and just a little bit of sadness that I'm doing it again.
The one that's the oldest then.
After 2 years service,
That's at least 400
Andy must hand
400 years
over
of
his ceremonial tune. We'll now move to the operational side.
people
of his
worn it.
dual role. At the Cavalry's riding school in Windsor, the trainees are preparing for their big day, known as the kit ride. They'll be putting on their ceremonial uniforms for the very first time.
You can tell across the ride, people quite tense going into kit
He said
ride.
his boots was £2,000.
More kit cleaning.
So it's obviously, what?
Boring riding.
Is that £800 per boot?
Right, with the kit and equipment, which can be quite uncomfortable, particularly when you put it on for the first time.
The boots, the caressers, and the helmet, putting it on.
£1,000 per
like, quite
per boat.
uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, it's what I'll be wearing for hours on end.
It's an expensive pair of boots.
I think because you don't know what's coming, you've never done it before, there's certainly some nerves.
The two cavalry regiments are distinguished by their helmet plumes, with the lifeguards wearing white and Blues and Royals in red.
We have people that have only just learned how to ride and they've had 14 weeks to actually go from never seeing a horse to never riding a horse to being able to just ride a horse, and then we have to add all this extra kit on, and before you know it, it sort of blows some people's minds.
Riding in the full set kit, I'm very nervous.
Come on, Taylor! Nothing wrong with that horse, get it up there!
The jack boots are very stiff. The caressers restrict movement quite a bit.
Relax. Now, Taylor, you have to get up there, come on! You have to stay with it!
Like it doesn't intimidate me.
Taylor, you have to stay in my side.
Both Charlie and Sam are on the last week of the course. Their futures still hang on one final test, to finally join the British Army's most senior regiment. The Grenadier Guards are one of the most senior infantry regiments in the British Army and renowned for their ceremonial excellence. It was the Grenadiers who carried the late Queen's coffin at her funeral and escorted King Charles at his coronation.
One of the first class
But
guards of the
since
world
they
now.
followed Charles II
Grenadiers.
into exile in 1656, the Guards have proudly held their reputation as specialists in close combat warfare. Their primary role is as the nation's first line of defence. The regiment's newest junior officer is 24-year-old Angus Black, who has just completed a 10-week officer combat course.
Grenadier Guards with light role infantry. Our role is looking right down from the small scale skills and drills all the way up to the large scale tactical side of defending a village, and that will then provide us the necessary skills and qualification for going and becoming platoon commander at units in a few short weeks.
You come out of Brecon and yes, you are current and competent on the training, but in terms of actual life experience and professional experience, you haven't, right? Nothing.
Despite his inexperience, Angus now commands a platoon of 30 soldiers, including sergeants who've served on the front line. His first task is to be the picket officer, making him responsible for security on camp.
The regiment has a huge amount of small traditions and quirks and customs that have been around for a very long time. It's all there to create that regimental community and that team.
Every picket shift begins with an obscure ritual unique to the Grenadier Guards that Angus needs to learn.
So we're going to be doing something called mounting and dismounting picket, which is a slightly strange thing, which is quite unique to the Guards. The picket officer will run in, halt, salute.
Sir, Second Lieutenant Ambassador, mounting picket, Thursday 31st August.
Be inspected by the adjutant, be asked regimental history questions, and then depending on how well they do, either running in, their turnout, and the questions they answer, they might have to do it again. It's a peculiar tradition that we still maintain, but it's something that sets us apart.
Second Lieutenant Black, force duty in mountain duty.
Yeah, so Sir, Second Lieutenant Black, mounting duties on Thursday the 31st of September.
It is actually quite difficult, and it's a strange feeling. You go, sprint through, and then very start to lose and get inspected. So it's going to be strange tomorrow.
If you had to go to
Tomorrow, you should go to the garden, change number, and then report.
In less than 24 hours, Angus will perform this ritual for real, in front of the regiment's commanding officer, who will be expecting perfection.
You have to get that right when you get called to the office.
Every soldier in the 7 regiments of the Household Division makes a pledge to serve king and country. Newly qualified trooper Georgia Holbrook is driving the British Army's new Ajax tank on its first combat exercise. And today, for the first time, the troops are using live ammunition.
We needed to get out on that exercise as a troop, testing the capabilities of the Ajax, as well as testing our performance out in the area as well, as a troop. Driving this vehicle has been thrilling, to say the least.
Well,
the Ajax tank uses cutting-edge technology, capable of tracking a target up to 3 miles away. Understanding how to use its operating system will test Georgia to the limit.
The drivers, we've got to have an eyes out at all times. We're trying to find them before they find us.
that's the name of the game. We take on the enemy.
George's job as a reconnaissance tank driver is to maneuver a few kilometers ahead of the infantry to locate the enemy and report back their location.
Yeah, to get permission to attack.
This was the first exercise not only for the squadron, but the first exercise for the regiment that's happened in quite a while. Being the first lot out on the exercise was just absolutely amazing.
Georgia is one of the first female soldiers to drive the Ajax on exercise. Now she must show she's ready for frontline action.
I think they said these new tanks costed altogether £8 million or £8 billion each in total.
Brigadier Officer Angus Black has been given the historic role
So-
of picket officer, with a centuries-old rite of passage, a test known as mounting the picket.
The reason the picket officer runs in is because a picket officer was late for mounting his duty, so just ran straight into the orderly room without knocking or asking permission to come in. Who knows if that's true or not, but we shouldn't let that get in the way of his story.
Every time you mount picket, you need to get all of your kits to very good standards, polish your shoes, polish your brass. You're representing the regiment, so you could potentially be bringing guests into camp or responding to incidents if they happen.
He needs to get it right to earn the respect of his senior officers.
Sir, Second Lieutenant Black, mounting pickets on Thursday the 31st of August. First picket, not bad. Need a bit more speed as you come in. Just make sure your buttons line up with your belt buckle on your Sam Brown. So, good shoes.
As a history graduate, you sort of feel that you should have a good understanding of the regiment's history. It was ultimately my history that in some ways led me towards the regiment.
So first picket, we'll give you an easy one. When was the regiment formed and where? 1656 in Bruges. So, which king? King Charles III. Sorry, King James II. No. Who is the colonel of the regiment? Her Majesty the Queen. Correct. And how many Victoria Crosses has the regiment won? 14. So, yeah. Okay, this is the picket folder. Okay, all your orders are in there, and your picket phone. That needs to be on and on loud throughout your duty. Any incidents, you need to report to me. Happy? So. That was good for first go. I think it's clear they've done a little bit of rehearsal. I think Angus is one
Well, it
of the
wasn't
first
bad.
to send out on his first go. I think I went relatively well. It was a very strange process, but got through it. Wasn't sent back out. So yeah, most pleased.
Having successfully completed his mess duties, Angus's next test will be as a platoon commander on overseas full combat training in just a few weeks' time. Next time, the pressure's mounting at the riding school.
I'm dreading it. This is the pass or fail.
A rookie cavalry trooper guards the king for the first time.
My heart was pounding, like, I was so scared and nervous.
The Grenadier Guards embark on their toughest combat exercise yet in Kenya. While the Household Mounted Cavalry makes history at a special state celebration.
I feel really proud to be British.
And you can see that next Thursday at 9. Thanks to Crosby and Buble, we all dream of one, but sometimes the reality is nothing to sing about. The Great White Christmas of '81 is brand new Saturday at 9. If you missed it, join detectives as they unravel some of Britain's most shocking murder cases in the Incident Room, available now on My5. Next tonight, Ben Fogle, New Lives in the Wild.
Christmas 1981, a time of Rubik's Cubes, home PCs and snow.
It didn't gently snow, it snowed. It looked more like Switzerland. The Queen was caught in a blizzard, finished up knocking on the door of a pub. It was quite incredible.
Jesus Christ.
White Christmas of '81, Saturday at 9.
That is snow, that is.
I'm afraid paperwork from the house the upper hand with the
You mean you only get snow like that in Switzerland or Alaska, really? all year round, not in the blinking UK.
Suddenly, a policeman will finally have a new assistant. Richard Carmody from London. Remember?
Now the game, Mr. Harriet. Go on, mate. I think it went rather well.
The animals are the easy part, of course.
He's the highest one we've seen. Yeah.
Tricky, I quite agree. He's not like Uncle Harry.
The next one should be him in scenes in the army. Harriet.
Is it really?
It's not sure.
That should be the next episode.
If this war's taught us anything, it's to grab onto the things you love and try and cherish every moment.
A new series of Old Creatures Great and Small. Watch the full series now on My5.